Dark Star is horror legend John Carpenter's directorial debut. This is a bit of a boring film at some points, but it's definitely a fun one. There's some really interesting stuff here. Some elements of it kind of feel like a inferior 2001: A Space Odyssey. You know, we have your characters talking in space. It's very clearly done on a small budget, so you know a lot of it's people sitting in nicely decorated rooms talking to each other. But there is some interesting tension here, some interesting dread. I particularly like the alien in this film is what appears to be a literal beach ball with like legs or hands or something, and it's moving around. And that's got to be one of my favorite horror villains I've ever seen in anything. I wouldn't call it terrifying, but it's definitely unique. The way it moves is just awesome. The way it attacks people, it's so memorable. Like if you're on a low budget shoestring, you know, kind of, this is the way to do it. I really, really like how that beach ball character instigates my favorite scene of the film. I'd be baffled if anyone has a different scene as their favorite, the elevator scene in this. This is the first scene where I feel like John Carpenter really proves, you know, who he is. It's a really tense scene with a lot of suspense. The action builds. We have this mechanically interesting idea of this man who is stuck on the ship's wall. The elevator's coming. He's got to figure out how to get back out. Then he's above the elevator. He's got to figure out how to not get crushed. He's below the elevator. He's got to figure out how to not get crushed. You know, we're moving around this unique setting, and John Carpenter mines every single thing that he can out of it, and it's done in a really interesting way. That was really the part of the film where I was like, yes, I get it. I get what he's trying to do here. That felt engaging from start to finish. When I say he mined it for every single drop, he wasn't milking it. He was actually finding interesting ways to keep that set piece going. The film also has an interesting ending. Like 2001, there's a lot of conflict with the AIs on the ship not doing what they were asked to do. They have kind of personalities, and it builds into this final confrontation that ends in a really hysterical way. I love the ending of this film. I had a really good time with it. I like seeing goofy shit like this man surfing on a fucking spaceship. That's just awesome. Space surfers, you know, we got Surf Dracula right here. There are some boring moments in the film. It is a lot of people talking, you know, walking through empty rooms. When it tries to have suspense or dread or comedy, I think it exceeds at all of those. There's just some parts of the film where I feel like it's kind of padding. It's like we're not really doing much here. But I think this is a really great standout debut, especially from several decades ago. It looks really cool. It's very memorable. The beach ball has got to be one of my favorite designs ever. I had a good time with this. I gave Dark Star a 4 out of 6.
4 out of 6.